Good afternoon. This is the official guide to public speaking. I will be introducing you to the Prologue, the new age of fire. The purpose of this guide is to explain how the miracle of powerful public speaking is achieved and to equip you to give it your best shot. Listen to the anecdote. The house lights dim. A woman, her palms sweating, her legs trembling just a little, steps out onto the stage. A spotlight hits her face, and 10,000 pairs of eyes lock onto hers. The audience senses a nervousness. There's palpable tension in the room. She clears her throat and starts to speak. What happens next is astounding. The 10,000 brains inside the heads of 10,000 independent individuals start to behave very strangely. They begin to sync up. A magic spell woven by the woman washes over each person. They gasp together, laugh together, weep together. And as they do so, something else happens. Rich, neurologically encoded patterns of information inside the woman's brain are somehow copied and transferred to the 10,000 brains in the audience. These patterns will remain in those brains the rest of their life, potentially impacting their behavior years into the future. The woman on the stage is weaving wonder, not witchcraft, but her skills are as potent as any sorcery. Ants shape each other's behavior by exchanging chemicals. We humans do it by standing in front of each other, peering into each other's eyes, waving our hands, and emitting strange sounds from our mouths. Human to human communication is a true wonder of the world. We do it unconsciously every day, and it reaches its most intense form on the public stage. But one thing needs emphasizing right at the start. There is no one way to give a great talk. The world of knowledge is far too big, and range of speakers and of audiences and of talk setting is far too varied for that. Any attempt to apply a single set formula is likely to backfire. Audiences see through it in an instant and feel manipulated. Indeed, if there were a successful formula at one moment in time, it wouldn't stay successful for long. That's because a key part of the appeal of a great talk is its freshness. We're humans, we don't like the same old. If your talk feels too similar to a talk someone has already heard, it is bound to have less impact. The last thing we want is for everyone to sound the same or for anyone to sound as though he's faking it. So, you should not consider this guide as rules prescribing a single way to speak. Instead, think of it as offering you a set of tools designed to encourage variety. Just use the ones that is right for you and for the speaking opportunity you're facing. Your only real job in giving a talk is to have something valuable to say and to say it authentically in your own unique way. You may find it more natural than you think. Public speaking is an ancient art wired deeply into our minds. Archaeological discoveries dating back hundreds of thousands of years have found community meeting sites where our ancestors gathered around fire. In every culture on earth, as language developed, people learned to share their stories, hopes, and dreams. Imagine a typical scene. It is after nightfall, the campfire is ablaze, the logs crackle and spit under a steady sky. An elder rises, and all eyes turn and lock onto the wise, wrinkled face illuminated by the flickering light. The story begins, and as the storyteller speaks, each listener imagines the events that are being described. That imaginations bring with it the same emotions shared by the characters in the story. This is a profoundly powerful process. It is the literal alignment of multiple minds into a shared consciousness. For a period of time, the campfire participants act as if they were a single life form. They may rise together, dance together, chant together. From this shared backdrop, it is a short step to decide to act together, to decide to embark together on the journey, a battle, a building, a celebration. The same is true today. As a leader or as an advocate, public speaking is a key to unlocking empathy, stirring excitement, sharing knowledge and insights, and promoting a shared dream. Indeed, the spoken word has actually gained new powers. A campfire is now the whole world. Thanks to the internet, a single talk in a single theater can end up being seen by millions and billions of people, just as the printing press massively amplified the power of authors. So the web is massively amplifying the impact of speakers. It is allowing anyone anywhere with online access to summon the world's greatest teachers and authors to teach from their homes and to give anyone the online access to learn from them directly. And suddenly, an ancient art has global reach. This revolution has sparked a renaissance in public speaking. Many of us have suffered years of long, boring lectures at university, interminable sermons at church, or roll your eyes, predictable political stump speeches. It doesn't have to be that way. A talk can electrify a room and transform an audience worldview. A talk is more powerful than anything in written form. Writing gives us the words, speaking brings with it a whole new toolbox. When we peer into a speaker's eye, listen to the tone of her voice, sense her vulnerability, her intelligence, her passion, we're tapping into unconscious skills that have been fine tuned over hundreds of thousands of years. Skills that can galvanize, empower, inspire. What is more, we can enhance these skills in ways the ancient art ancient could never have imagined. The ability to show right and beautiful high resolution any image that the human can photograph or imagine, the ability to weave in video and music, the ability to draw on research tools that present the entire body of human knowledge to anyone in reach of a smartphone. The good news is these skills are teachable, they absolutely are. And that means that there's a new superpower that anyone, young or old, can benefit from. It's called presentation literacy. We live in an era where the best way to make a dent on the world may no longer be to write a letter to the editor or publish a book. It may simply be to stand up and say something because both the words and the passion with which they are delivered can now spread across the world at warp speed. In the 21st century, presentation literacy should be taught in every school. Indeed, before the era of books, it was considered an absolutely core part of education under an old fashioned name, rhetoric. Today, in the connected era, we should resurrect that noble art and make it education's fourth R: reading, writing, arithmetic, and rhetoric. The word's core meaning is simply the art of speaking effectively. And that is the purpose of this guide: to recast rhetoric for the modern era, to offer you the useful stepping stones toward a new presentation literacy. Ultimately, ideas aren't own, they have a life of their own. This matters. Every every meaningful element of human progress has happened only because humans have shared ideas with which each other and then collaborated to turn those ideas into reality. For the first time, our ancestors teamed up to take down a mammoth, to Neil Armstrong's first step onto the moon. People have turned spoken words into astonishing shared achievements. We need that now more than ever. Ideas that could solve our toughest problems often remain invisible because the brilliant people in whose minds they reside lack the confidence or the know-how to share those ideas effectively. This is a tragedy. At a time when the right idea presented the right way can ripple across the world at the speed of light, spawning copies of itself in millions of minds, there's huge benefit to figuring out how best to set it on its way, both for you, the speaker in waiting, and for the rest of us who need to know what you have to say. Are you ready? Well, then, let's go light a fire.